You're now tuned in to the latest, the newest, hottest show on YouTube. I got a story to tell. Hosted by your boy, OG Sonny Blanco. Fire interviews, worldly topics, and much more. Stay tuned. OG Sonny Blanco. I got a story to tell. You heard?
Good people. You are now tuned in. OG Sonny Blanco, I got a story to tell, you heard? But yo, I'm getting a few questions in my DM. Number one, I'm going to go step by step with the questions, and I'm going to try to address them step by step, right? So number one was my beard. All right, listen, yeah, the beard is real. Beard is years. This ain't the fake sewing joint, right? This years are growing right here. But yo, let me tell you what you go need. For those who trying to get their beard popping, to get thick and all that, right? Number one, you're going to have to let that joint woof. A lot of people hate to do that. We want to look clean. We want to edge up the line up and all that good stuff, right? But you're going to have to let your joint woof for about 3 months, maybe 2, 3, 4 months, as long as you could take it. Let it woof, because when you let it woof, you're going to actually see what you're working with, right? And hair's an illusion. Like you might have some spots and some gaps, but if you let the hair grow out, it'll grow over that spot of that gap and cover it up. You know what I mean? Like right here on the edges of my mustache and all that, right? It's little tricks you could do. Like if you trim this right here, let this part of your mustache stay growing. You know what I mean? To fill in the gap right here. One of the things you're gonna need, which I'm out of, I gotta get some more, but run to Walmart and get you the hair and nail gummy vitamins. Hair and nail gummy vitamins from Walmart. Pop 2 of them first thing in the morning. You good all day. Next thing you go need, this right here. Right? You can see that right there? Wild growth oil. Wild growth oil. Every morning, put that joint on nice and proper. Every night before you go to bed, put that joint on nice and proper. After every shower, every bath, anything like that, put that joint on nice and proper. But before you put the wild growth on, grab you some of this. I gotta get some more too, I'm almost out. The Hawaiian Silky 14-in-1. It got all the nutrients and all that good stuff your beard need. The Hawaiian Silky 14-in-1. Again, first thing in the morning, put this right here on. Put it on kind of heavy. At night, put this on. Put it on kind of heavy. After any shower, any bath, put this on. Then after you put that Hawaiian Silky on, you throw on the wild growth oil, right? And your joint go start filling out. But let that joint woof for about 2, 3, maybe 4 months. Then line your joint up. You see what you're working with. And like, I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but since you've been asking about my beard, those who ask about the beard, you might have been paying attention. My joint used to be a little longer, right? Like every 6 months to a year, something like that, I clip about 2 inches or 3 inches off. To let it grow back, you got to clip the dead ends. You know what I mean? To let it grow back nice and proper, nice and healthy. All right, that was the first question. The number 2 question, and I wasn't really going to get into this, but one dude asked me in the comments, so I'm going to call his name out because he asked me in the comments. Shout it out, Kobe Irvin. Shout out, Kobe. He had asked me in the comments, and then I got like 6 messages. That's my word, 6 messages in my DMs. Like, yo, what happened? What happened? What happened? So we go address it. What happened with me and Up for Debate and Ozone O? Shout it out, Up for Debate, whoever over there, the whole team over there, the guard Mark and all that. Shout it out, peace. You know what I mean? Cosmology Bay, Kung Fu Joe, Planet Plainfield and all that, Jersey and all that. Shout it out. All right, so let's get into it. Now, me and O used to rock heavy, right? I used to rock with Sunpage heavy for like the last 3 years maybe, you know what I mean? 3, 2 years, whatever, rocking with Sunpage heavy when he had the braids and all that, right? And when I first ran across his page, I was like, yo, who is this dude talking all greasy about New York? Like, what's really good? Who this dude is? Then come to find out he from Detroit. So I'm like, yo, why is this Detroit dude talking all greasy about New York, right? So then, but he an intriguing dude, right? So he kind of wrapped me in, no freaky, right? So I started watching, started listening, right? Then I'm like, oh, that's the click. That's the clickbait right there. Like Prophet Muscle be doing, how he be throwing out little joints for his titles that got nothing to do with the story, but it's clickbait to make you hit the joint and watch, right? Ozone O not like that. He'll say something crazy in his titles, but he actually on that topic. But he flipped the coin on it and he break it down. So if you under one impression, you might be like, oh, all right, I see what he talking about. But even if you don't flip, like you still stay on the same impression that you came with, you still can understand where he coming from if you flip the coin. I tell people all the time, flip the coin, man. It's two sides to everything, right? So I started rocking with him heavy till I became like a regular, you know what I mean, on the podcast, joining all that in the comment section. And when he do his lives, we always there. There's a few people that's always there, right? So boom, I'm rocking the heavy. Me and Son we had dialogue, we talk here and there in the DMs and all that. Like, if he hit something spot on, I hit him in the DM like, yo, worse, I don't know how you got that, but you got that. Like, I was there. I know you got that right there. You know what I mean? So, and should I disagree with? I'm nobody's yes man, right? Nobody's yes man. I'm man enough to say if I agree. I'm man enough to say if I disagree. And I'm going to give you the reason why I disagree. So we used to go back and forth about things like that. As a matter of fact, I think we only really disagreed on two subjects. One subject was C. Franklin. Shout it out. The mayor of Brownsville. Seth Lowe. Shout it out and all that. C. Franklin and all that. Word. So Franklin and Glaze was going at it, right? And I'm like, yo, son, be easy with that. Like, these dudes, I mean, they go back. They got history. Let them handle that. This real Brooklyn shit right here. This history right here. Let them handle that. He ain't like that. All right, so we talked about it, right? We ain't see eye to eye on that one at all. All right, so the next one was Glaze. Again, Glaze. But me and Glaze is talking on a live one day, right? And Glaze is real passionate about something he talking about, right? So I'm like, yo, my G, you see how passionate you are about that right there? That need to be your next live. The next live you do, you need to talk about that, homie, because you spot on with that. So Glaze did a live. Glaze live was titled something like, I'm not going to get it right in exact, but it was to the effect of crabs in the barrel mentality, right? How we don't need to have the crabs in the barrel mentality, how we need to reach back and pull somebody up, pull your comrade up, you know what I mean? Help your comrade get right, instead of having the crabs in the barrel mentality. Son took that personal because him and Glaze was going through a little something at the time. So Son took that personal and thought that Glaze was talking about him. I showed him, I hit him in his DM like, nah, son. I screenshot the hour and some change conversation that me and Glaze had because we was on live. You know what I mean? When you screenshot it, it tell you the time it started and the time it ended. And I screenshot the text where Glaze had told me, hey, yo, remind me about what you just said. Remind me, because I might forget during the conversation that we was having. When we hang up, remind me about the suggestion for the live. So I texted him all of that. And I suggested Glaze do the live. I'm thinking it might be 2-3 days later, something. Nah, Son hopped on that like an hour later. He did the live, and it was a great joint, right? But Son took that personal like he was talking about Big O. And I'm like, nah, O. So I shot it to him, and he saw it, and that's one of the ones that we agreed on. He was like, nah, I was wrong. Yeah, that's crazy right there. You know what I mean? I was wrong. And he corrected that error, right? Now, everything is gravy. Everything is gravy. At least I'm thinking everything is gravy, right? I don't know this until like after we fall out. And after we fell out, like the nigga did a joint about me, right? Yeah, he did a little live about me, right? So I watched the live for about 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes. That's all I needed to see. Watch the joint, unsubscribe from Son. And I left it at that. And then 050 The Movement. This is how I got connected with 050 The Movement. Matter of fact, now, a couple days before I had got tuned in to 050 The Movement, I was on the platform a couple times. Stack Stone was on there. Me and Stack Stone was chopping it up one time. And I think the next time I was on there, Black Caesar was on there. Me and Black Caesar was chopping it up. And then the third and last time I was on there, me and Hassan Campbell, I had to get at him like, yo, son, you owe these niggas right here an apology, right? Boom. All right, so a couple days after that, Harlem Legend reach out like, yo, they about to start doing the Clash of the Titans. This was either the first or the second Clash of the Titans. And he like, yo, me and China strolling through the YouTube streets and all that, and we see this nigga talking greasy like, yo, he talking about you? I'm like, yo, oh. He like, yo, O's on O. Old and O, up for debate and all that. I'm like, yeah, oh, son, talking greasy. That's when I went back and checked the live, right? Watched about 15 minutes of it. I had enough. All right. So now we go talk about what happened, right? Everything was gravy. There's this chick. I ain't gonna call the chick name. She an older chick. We go call the chick, we go call the chick Comet. Like a comet in the sky to all that, right? We go call the chick Comet, right? Nah, I don't like that name. We go call the chick Twinkle. Twinkle. Word. We go call the chick Twinkle. Now, Twinkle gets on the platform, and around this time, Ozone going, he talking about Unique Mecca Audio. And let me be a man right now. Hey, yo. Unique Mecca Audio, I owe you an apology, my G. I told you from start you was an inspiration, like how you came and got it up. You know what I mean? How you came to New York, from Jersey, Jamaica and all that, and you got it up, you did your thing. I've been in Club 2000, you understand? Like I've been in there, you know what I mean? So I synced all that with my own eyes and all that, and I always kind of looked up to you. But this chick came out and started talking crazy about you, right? Like she had letters and all that. Who knows if you wrote it? Because like Glaze put me on. Glaze like, yo, the nigga was illiterate. How you know he wrote them letters? How you know he ain't get somebody to write it for him? Right? So I had to think about all of that. Then I seen how the chick tried to play me. And I'm like, oh, she might have done the same thing to Unique. So yo, G shit. I'm man enough to admit when I'm wrong. Unique Mecca Audio, I owe you an apology, my G. That's my word. Because I roll with what Shorty was saying, especially when she got on. We ain't even gonna talk about what she got on, right? But when she got on that, I'm like, nah, that can't rock, especially with Sun background. He can't be on nothing like that, right? But, like I said, she played me, so she might have played you. With that being said, I owe you an apology. All right, now back to Twinkle. So Twinkle had something going on with Unique, Mecca Audio and all that, right? She started talking greasy about Mecca, right? About Unique, right? But it wasn't the little greasy talk she was talking. I'm like, yo, if you fell for that, you fell for that, or it is what it is. But she hit on one subject, and the one subject she hit on, I don't rock with, right? At all. And I'm like, that kind of turned my whole respect for Unique around. You know what I mean? Some of the stuff she said, she claims allegedly that he wrote in the letter the shit he was saying. I'm like, oh, if his son said that, that's crazy. I can't rock with that, right? So, bam, Twinkle becomes a little part of the show and all that, right? Little part of the podcast. I mean, no doubt it's Big O podcast, but he was having her on there regular at the time to talk about what she was talking about, right? So some kind of way, Twinkle gets missing. Right? But I'm there every day. And it's me and a few people there every day. So I'm like, yo, what the fuck happened to Twinkle? It's one lady in the joint, she comments like, yo, what happened to Twinkle? I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. So me and Twinkle, we friends on IG. So I hit Twinkle up on IG like, yo, Twinkle, you all right? What's good? You know what I mean? Like, yo, we ain't seen you in a while. Everything good? Twinkle hits me back talking greasy. Not about me. Twinkle hits me back talking greasy about, right? Trying to get me to fall into, you know what I mean, the conversations and all that. I'm not falling for it, right? She made one comment that I agree with. And the reason why I agree with it, because it ain't my style. That's never been my style. Like, you know, the Chuck Taylor sneakers and all of that. I never been a Chuck Taylor Pro Kids fan and none of that. I don't care if you put them in the new shit with the Gucci's and all that, with leather on them and all of that. I still don't like that style of shoe. I don't like that style of shoe. So, bam, he had some shoes made, and the shoes he made was almost that style, but on the Italian side of things, like the leather and the good trim and all that. But it was still that old Converse type shape type style. I don't rock with them shoes. So she was like, yo, she had made some comments and she said this and she said the shoes was ugly. Well, I'm like, yo, I agree with the shoes. They ain't my flavor, but let son get his money up off that joint. But everything else she was talking, I'm like, nah, I ain't heard nothing about that, none of that. Then a couple days later, she hit me in my DM. No, back up. I gotta address King of New Jersey with this because he said some shit that I ain't like. I'ma address you, big man. That's my word. Now, she telling me all type of information about King of New Jersey, born, the God born and all that, who we fucking with, this, that, and the third, yada, 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 ray, right? And then she trying to come at me. But I'm like, nah, man, that ain't me. I'm good. My lady bad. Right? It ain't that type of party. I ain't coming at her like that, but I'm still coming at her on some friendly shit. Like, nah, everything cool. Yeah, my peoples. Yeah, you team, you with the family and all that. So she like, yo, when you come to New York? I'm like, yo, I don't know when I'm coming to New York. I gotta come see my grandson and all that. I tell you what, when I come, I'm gonna bring my kids, my grandson and all that. You cooking, that's what's up. She like, yeah, I'm cooking. I'm like, all right, if you cook, I'm gonna buy the food. We gonna do it like that. Up for debate and all that. Go have a little get together and all of that, right? So, bam, she telling me all the Born information, this, that, and third. So when I finished with her, I hit Born, King of New Jersey, like, yo, son, I heard you rocking with so-and-so, right? He like, you know what? I'm like, yo, Twinkle told me. Plus, she trying to come at me, homie, but that ain't my style right there. I had to let it known. And I told son this. And it's in the DMs and the receipts. But you let son tell the story. He's saying all type of other shit. Your word ain't bond, homie. Your word ain't bond, homie. You knew better than to say something like that. You did that because it was a attention grabber, because it sounded good, it sounded fly. But you knew that I had DM'd you with all of that, right? But anyway, back to Twinkle, right? So Twinkle hits me up in my DM one day like, yo, Sonny, what the fuck you been telling O about me? I'm like, yo, what? First of all, that ain't my style. That's first of all, right? I ain't tell shit about you. You know what I mean? Niggas is asking, where you at? Right? So boom. I don't hear nothing back, right? So like that, later on that night, O's on he doing the live and all that. I'm more than the live. I'm like, yo, the chick came up. I'm like, yo, that's some funny shit right there, because the chick just hit me in my DM like, what the fuck you been telling about me? Like, niggas is talking about her. And I'm like, yo, I ain't said nothing about you, man. So it go on for a couple days. I'm still really lost to what happened between Twinkle, Ozone O, and whoever, right? I'm still lost to that, because I really don't care about that shit. I had only checked on Shorty. I was actually being a friend of the podcast and checking on peoples from the podcast, and Twinkle been missing for a minute, so I checked on Twinkle like, yo, everything all right? Like, I want people to check on me, you know what I mean? Hey, yo, where that nigga Sonny at, you know what I mean? That's all it was, no more, no less, right? So, bam, about a day or so goes by, Big Ozone O, he makes this little skit with, I want to say, Fred Flintstones. It was Wilma or either Betty. I think it was Wilma Flintstone. He had made a Wilma skit and all that, but he was talking about Shorty, Twinkle. So I typed in the joint. I still ain't getting it, but it's kind of starting to come to me like, oh shit, son talking about Twinkle? So I hit like, yo, who you talking about, Twinkle? Niggas is all in the comments like, yeah, Twinkle, Twinkle, Twinkle. So the cat's out the bag already, right? Evidently her and Ozone O got some type of problem. When she hit me up like 2 days prior, like, what the fuck I've been telling O and I ain't say shit, right? And then 2 days later, the skit come up. So the cat's out the bag. So the chick must have somebody in the chat that's running back all the information to her, telling her this and telling her that. That's a known, it's a given, right? I'm God. You know what I mean? I deal with 1 and 1 makes 2. I deal with the math. I deal with the science. It ain't hard to put together, right? So I hit Twinkle back like, yo, Twinkle, I don't know what's going on, but I ain't say shit about you. I guess you was right, meaning I'm guessing you right. Whoever feeding you information about niggas is talking about you or whatever, whoever feeding you that information, I don't know who it is, but whoever it is, I guess they right. The thing that they wasn't right about was me. I ain't say shit about you. That's all I say, right? So then shorty, she sends some long DM talking about this and that, and told about she was talking to some other chicks that be in the podcast, and she was talking to Ozone O and this, that, and the third, and I made another comment. I said, yo, I could see women doing that, but I can't see no niggas doing that. Meaning, I can't see O doing that. That's what the comment meant, right? But, you know how shit get misconstrued and all of that. So, Twinkle got some little friend. I forgot the friend name. If I knew her name, I'd call her name. I forgot her name. But Twinkle got this little friend that's trying to hype shit up and dead shit, and hype shit up and dead shit, and spark the fire on this side and spark the fire on Twinkle's side. She's sparking the ignition on Ozone O and Born in them side, and then she's sparking the ignition on Twinkle's side. But Sonny get caught up in the middle. And all Sonny did was check on Twinkle. All Sonny did was say, all right, fuck it, the cat out the bag. I guess it is what it is, but you hit me in my DM like what the fuck I've been saying about you. I ain't say shit about you. Whoever is talking is whoever talking. I ain't calling no names and none of that. I just said after the Wilma skit, Flintstone or Rubble or whatever skit, I'm like, it is what it is, cat's out the bag, all right, but that wasn't me. So, Born, back to Born. Now, I'm thinking, Born to God. We both 5%ers, we both up in age, we both go back in the lessons and all of that, you know what I mean? I'm thinking, Son is alright, Son good people, and Son may be alright. Son may be good people. He just ain't alright or good people with me, right? So back to Born, right? So I got Born number because I'm thinking we cool and all of that, right? So bam, I'm hitting Born like, yo, I saw that little joint right there, son. Son talking greasy, like, tell Son to get at me. You got my number. We could 212 it out over the phone, B. Like, tell Son to get at me, because I really don't do all that internet shit. Like, tell Son to get at me. He talking about, yo, you should have pulled up and done the live. I'm like, the fuck I'm gonna pull up and do a live for? You should have just told Son to get at me, B. Y'all niggas is doing it for TV. I'm thinking we homies by way of this meeting through the online shit. You got my number and all of that. That's your man. Tell Son to get at me. Son don't never get at me. I don't know if he told Son to get at me or whatever. Son don't never get at me. So bang. Then again, something else happened. He talking real greasy. So how you see me online or on this little camera or whatever, I'm this every day, all day. I don't know how to be nobody else but me. Online, offline, I'm still the same SB. You heard? So when I hear Son talking greasy, right? I hit Born like, yo, y'all some funny niggas. You and your man some funny niggas. I hear Son talking greasy. I told you to tell Son to get at me. I don't know if you told Son to get at me or whatever, but I told you to tell Son to get at me. But whatever, I hear y'all talking greasy. My nigga, it's a good thing he in Detroit and I'm in North Carolina. That's a great thing. And you in Jersey. That's my word. Because if Son was standing next to me right now, I left hook that nigga and we'd go from there. Meaning, I'ma left hook the nigga and we'll go from there. I don't underestimate anybody. The nigga may get me, the nigga may not. But one thing's for sure, two things for certain, I'ma left hook the nigga and we go from there. I told you on my first podcast, on my first little joint, I said, yeah, sometimes homies gotta scrap it out. The testosterone and all that. You know what I mean? The machismo shit and all of that. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can't talk it out. Sometimes you gotta scrap it out. But if that's your man, I could scrap it out with you and shake your hand afterwards, smoke something with you and all of that. Win or lose. I come from that era. And I told Born, I thought you came from the same era, right? But then come to find out, Born is really the nigga behind all of it. Like Born sending the messages that Twinkle Peoples is sending to him, he's sending them to O from O's own mouth. O said, yo, he told son, don't send him nothing. Son sent it anyway. He told son he didn't want to be on no type of shit like that. Son sent it anyway. So now I'm starting to think Born got a problem with me, right? Sent it anyway. Big O gets on live screaming on Born. I'm like, nah, homie, don't do that. If that's your man, he thought he was holding you down or whatever. You know what I mean? I ain't even mad at son, and son did it to me. I ain't mad at son. He thought he was holding you down. Oh, like, nah, that ain't his job. We done had this discussion already. This ain't the first time. So I left it alone, right? But then, when I watched a little 15 minutes of the live and all of that, when O was talking, O like, yeah, niggas been telling me, don't fuck with that nigga. Niggas been telling me that's a funny nigga. And the whole time, it's a split screen, right? So the whole time, Born is over there shaking his head like, yeah, me, nigga. I've been telling you, don't fuck with that nigga. So if you been telling the nigga, don't fuck with me, why you call me? Why you be on my phone? Nigga, I ain't 212 with you in a minute. I ain't build with you in a minute since I unsubscribed for some shit. I see you come on 050 platform. I rocks with 050 heavy. I don't say nothing to you. None of that. Out the blue a couple days ago, son hits me on my jack. Like, yeah, what up? Like, it's all gravy and all peace. When you the Yakub behind the whole shit, homie, I don't even blame Ozone O no more. The nigga was listening to you. You the Yakub behind the whole shit, right? So that's why I said when you came on Mac Mean and Saladin shit the other day, right? That's why I said, hey, yo, Born's a funny nigga. Goodfellas type of funny. Not hilarious funny. Remember in Goodfunny's funny how? Yeah, you a funny nigga, big. But it is what it is. I ain't on this YouTube for beef. You know what I mean? I ain't on this YouTube for none of that. I'm on the YouTube because of the same nigga that you run to him, and talk shit about me about. That same nigga was like, yo, Blocko, you need to get a platform, right? So Up for Debate. That's what happened with me and Up for Debate. Kobe Irvin, I hope I answered your question. And to the 6 people that was in my DMs with it, I hope y'all answer your question. I ain't got no beef with nobody. Everybody eat out here. Everybody get money. That nigga platform way past my shit. His number's up. For that matter, Born platform, his number's up. I don't care nothing about all of that. What I do care about is your word being bond. What I do care about is you walk it like you talk it. What I do care about is don't smile in my face or on the phone and all that and be chopping it up and all of that. And then when you go talk to son, you talking greasy. Out of your body language. Yeah. Yeah. Big O says, yo, son, niggas been telling me not to fuck with son, it's you. Yeah, me. I said it. You know what I mean? Hey, yo, listen. I said I left Hook O and we'll go from there. I done fought big niggas before. But see, you a real big nigga. You like 300 pounds, 6'7" and all that. You know ain't no fighting God. You know ain't no fighting God. But we ain't gonna take it there because that was the old me. 20 years ago, we might have been on something like that. Right now, 20 years later, I'm wise enough to see the moves. I play chess, homie. I'm wise enough to see the moves. You had me in check. But you ain't had me in checkmate. I synced it. You calling me, being my buddy, my friend, the guard and all that. But you talking greasy, the O about me. So with that said, homie, it's checkmate. You know what I mean? Game over. I did that. You heard? But yo, shout it out. Everybody eat. Up for Debate. Ozone O. Eat. King of New Jersey. Good fella funny. Eat. Other than that, you already know my regular shout-outs. 050 The Movement, China Brim, shout it out. Harlem Legend, Jamil Saladin, El Compa, AP Wax, Wax Dog, Pharaoh Guns, Rockstar Little Man, $2. You know what I mean? The whole team. Dark Side Sag and all that. Kaheem Allah and all of that. The whole team. Shout it out. My next joint, I had 3 questions, right? the bid joint, the up for debate joint, and the next joint is gonna be the next live I do, or the next podcast I do. The joint with my G 050 and this paperwork and all that. Since y'all all in my comments talking crazy, I'ma address it, right? Easy.
You're now tuned in to the latest, the newest, hottest show on YouTube. I got a story to tell. Hosted by your boy, OG Sonny Blanco. Fire interviews, worldly topics, and much more. Stay tuned. OG Sonny Blanco. I got a story to tell. You heard?